Tonight, Governor Kevin Stitt said he is setting the record straight after calling for the elimination of the Oklahoma Forestry Service. Thanks so much for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Naomi Kitt. We told you last Wednesday during a press conference, the governor made those remarks, spurring fierce backlash from Democrats, Republicans, and local fire and emergency officials. Today, he says the former forestry director deployed only half of his available resources back on March 14th. 2 News Oklahoma's Douglas Braff has been holding the governor accountable while also listening to local emergency managers and rural fire departments. Douglas?
Naomi, it's been a fluid situation as Stitt remains defiant about eliminating the Forestry Service, and his office keeps telling me he's unavailable for an interview.
Without Oklahoma Department of Forestry, my county would be hurting so bad.
That's why some local fire and emergency officials told me last week they need the Oklahoma Forestry Services. Governor Kevin Stitt fired Forestry Director Mark Goller, saying he and his agency mishandled the March 14th wildfires. Those local officials I listened to told me the opposite. How did the Forestry Service respond to these recent wildfires from what you've seen?
Absolutely perfect. Again, they have limited resources. Prior to the days leading up to that Friday of the outbreaks of wildfires, the forestry was already pre-staging their equipment.
As far as you're concerned, Mark Goller did his job.
Oh, he's done. Listen, the man's done a tremendous job.
Same with fellow Republicans like State Rep Justin Humphrey.
But when you're wrong, you're wrong. I don't care if you're the governor. I don't care who you are.
During Wednesday's news conference, Stitt called for ending the Forestry Service.
That'd save $75 million for the taxpayers, or let's take $50 million of that and let's give it to our local firefighters. Let's give it to our volunteer fire departments.
Humphrey tells me Stitt had inaccurate numbers, saying the Forestry Service only receives more than $24 million and that volunteer fire departments got just under $12 million of that. Despite his call, Stitt cannot eliminate the agency unilaterally. Only the legislature has that power. Do you know other Republicans at the Capitol who are backing Stitt in this matter?
I haven't heard one person across the state or at the Capitol building who thinks he's right.
I reached out to Stitt's communications director on Thursday asking for an interview with the governor since we were denied questions at Wednesday's news conference. Abigail Cave told me he was too busy, so I suggested other dates, and for each one, she said he wasn't free. I told her I will adjust my schedule to accommodate his, and even still, she did not offer alternative dates. Then Stitt put out this statement Monday afternoon to set the record straight. The governor says he learned Forestry Services did not use every resource at their disposal to save lives and property. Stitt says he asked Goller to step down to get a fresh set of eyes and had the Secretary of Agriculture, Food and Forestry and the State Emergency Management Director investigate the agency, whom Stitt says were met with reluctance to give answers. They reportedly found Goller only deployed half of his available resources on March 14th. I read the statement to Olive's fire chief to get his reaction.
I think that the governor should be calling for an independent, unbiased investigation, none of his buddies or co-workers to do the investigation.
We're angry, we're upset, we're saddened. We just really don't know what to do and where he's planning on going with this.
Despite the back and forth between me and Stitt's office and this new statement today, I will keep seeking an interview with him about this topic. Douglas Braff, 2 News, Oklahoma.
Douglas, thank you.